They say that 100,000 subscribers is the number that makes you realize that this whole thing is actually real. And even if that's true, I honestly think that 200,000 subscribers is even more of an impactful number, even if it's not one that you're gonna get a plaque for. Being a YouTuber, going from one huge number to the next and basically expecting at least 200 subscribers a day, I sometimes have to force myself to recontextualize that number, because when you watch it grow slowly over time from one digit to the next, you honestly start to forget what those numbers even mean. Here's a few examples of ways that I've done that. The high school I went to had about 900 people. The town that I currently live in has about 9,000 people. The United States Virgin Islands has a population of 104,000, and this one's my favorite. Salt Lake City has a population of 193,744 people. My channel is 7,000 people more popular than Salt Lake City. And the reason that this is so astounding to me is that I remember having nothing. No money, no fans, and honestly, no real talent. And that thought has become even more important now that YouTube has announced their plan to limit the amount of creators who will be able to monetize their videos, meaning that users with less than 1,000 subscribers will not be able to put ads on their content. And while I A, really like this plan, and B, realize that most of the creators affected make like $8 a month, I still remember how exciting it was the first time I made $10 on YouTube, and how much it inspired me to keep making content. And so I thought I would give back to many of the small creators who support me by giving you helpful tips on making it big on YouTube. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I will be discussing a couple small YouTubers that I'm actually very fond of. Number 10. Someone on Discord was asking me for advice on their YouTube channel, and they told me that the name they had chosen was Manic Depressive. What I told them is that a YouTube name is so much more than just a catchphrase. It's more than just the title of some project that you're working on the side. It's your new name. When people think about your content, when people think about your personality, and when people think about you, they are going to think of that name. It's the name that people will use when introducing you. It's the name that people are going to use to suggest your content to other people. It's the name that people are going to yell across the produce aisle while you're trying to find grapes. And in this situation, the name Manic Depressive is a really terrible choice. To be honest, you should probably really seriously consider choosing a YouTube name that at least sounds like a real name. The social media site Twitter is very important to promoting your videos when YouTube won't. And you'll find that the algorithm of Twitter just trusts people using real names and doesn't trust people using things that sound like the titles of their one-man show. Twitter accounts with names like Jake or Jenna will be promoted heavily by Twitter, but accounts with names like Film Cow and The Odd Ones Out will often have to work a little bit harder to get attention. It's not absolute, but it is certainly something to think about. Number 8. Allow yourself some privacy. If I could change anything about my original videos, it would be that I wish I had revealed less information about myself. I used to end every video by smiling at the camera and saying my full name, which is one step away from giving a thumbs up while I read out my social security number. When you have 10 subscribers, the idea of someone trying to find you is almost romantic in a way. But when you have even 3,000, it's suddenly what keeps you up at night. And had I thought of this when my channel was small, I wouldn't have revealed my real name. I most likely would have thought really hard about if I needed to show my face, and I probably wouldn't have shown recognizable landmarks in the town that I live in. And if I could do anything to make people not know what state I live in, I'd probably sleep better at night. Number 7. Get equipment, but don't break the bank. If I had to restart with nothing, the first thing I would probably buy would be an iPhone 5S. It might sound crazy, but these are kind of reasonably cheap at this point, and it has a pretty good camera and an alright mic. Even today, if there's something wrong with my video or my audio, I'll occasionally switch to using this instead, and I don't get a lot of comments from people saying that it's noticeable. Obviously, you still need a laptop to edit on, but this is a really good start. Number 6. Learn how to market yourself. It's important that from day one, you are working very hard to have serious videos and thumbnails. Here's why. Let's say a year into this, one of your vids actually gets a lot of views, and people go to your channel to check out your other stuff. If your thumbnails are half-assed, lazy, ugly, or even entirely ironic, you're losing a lot of potential audience. I would really recommend getting a copy of Photoshop. Now I'm gonna do you guys a big favor and reveal to you the secret on how to bait people into clicking on your videos. Make clickbait. Okay, so clickbait is, in essence, the idea that you're getting someone to watch your video under false pretenses. You need to do that, but not under false pretenses. One thing I like to do that probably pisses people off is I always pitch my titles as questions. Basically, you have to design your content to be worth clicking on without being obnoxious about it. Number 5, do not trust scams. When you're starting a channel from the ground up, you're going to run into a lot of charlatans trying to feed off of your youthful ignorance. Some of these are going to be people who try to get you to advertise their crummy products, but a lot of these people are going to be offering you the chance to join a network. I'm offered roles in large networks probably about twice a week, and if it wasn't for beefcakes like H3H3 and the fabulous Critical, I probably would have fallen victim to one of these snake oil plots by now. If you're uninitiated with what a network is and why it's a scam, a network is an organization that intercepts the money that comes between you and YouTube, takes a bunch of it, and then does nothing. Most networks are successful because they lure thousands of YouTubers into their trap. They take 20 to 60% of that YouTuber's money. They do nothing at all. And then they take an obnoxiously long amount of time to allow the YouTuber to leave the partnership. Imagine 20 to 60% of your earnings going to someone else who is doing absolutely nothing for no apparent reason. It's just not worth it. Number 4, hit the trends. This is going to sound depressing and cynical, but it's honestly what you need to hear. When you have nothing, doing videos that people actually are looking for is the most important thing that you can be doing. And that means dropping everything that you're working on to cover trending topics if that's what you need to do. In mid-2016, I had less than 300 subscribers. All it took for this to change was one video about the drama surrounding Leafy and iDubbbz. In August 2016, I gained 21 subscribers. And in September 2016, I gained nearly 14,000. It's not about making videos about things that you don't care about. It's about focusing your efforts on things that you often wouldn't because you know that it will get you more traction. And sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it can be draining. But those were the stepping stones that led me to where I am today. Number 3. Make content for the future. Presuming that your video isn't taken down by you and that no one else reposts it, almost every single video that you are working on will be viewed by at least one person in a decade. You should work on your videos with this in mind. I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk about things that are relevant now, or that you should avoid discussing topics that won't be relevant in the future, but I think that you need to present yourself with a certain level of maturity. For instance, it's probably not a good idea to do a bunch of videos about your family members or issues you're having at home. Even if your first intuition is to treat your audience like your new best friend, there are some things you probably should just keep to yourself. And in general, just be careful about what you say and keep online. Have you ever found like an old journal that you wrote in middle school that you find kind of cringy now? Well, imagine if that journal was in the public domain. Pretty scary, right? Number 2, make content that is open to change. A big mistake I see YouTubers doing when they're starting a channel is that they have a very narrow view of the kind of content that they're going to have to make for the rest of time. I'll see someone say, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel where I talk about Star Wars. And I say, wow, that sure sounds potentially boring after like 2 months. When you're setting up your channel slowly, you should try and make it so that if you wanted to change direction, your fan base would go along with you. So that if you wanted to make different content in a year, you could go along with that without burning everything to the ground. And finally, the most important thing, number 1, be happy. The most important thing when it comes to anything in your life is that you're okay. Don't put making content ahead of seeing friends or getting a good night's rest, especially when you're that small. And if you're working on a video and you just realize you don't have the passion, take a break, go on a walk, go see friends, work on a different video. Despite what some entrepreneurs might tell you, it really isn't every day, man. Do what you feel like doing, live an active lifestyle, and don't let your channel consume everything that is you, especially not before you have any following. And with that, let's talk about a few small YouTubers that I am currently subscribed to. Starting off with AbShow. No, this is not a YouTube channel about getting shredded like Kylo Ren. It's actually about a girl named Abby, who was born without the lower part of her right arm. On her channel, she discusses her disability and shows how she manages to do various tasks.
Don't cut off your fingers, but if you do, come back to my channel and I'll show you how to live your life.
Number 6, is your handwriting awful?
I've had people actually ask me if my handwriting is bad. And like, even if it really was bad, I wouldn't be like, yeah. I had a kid once, when I was little, I was like 7 or 8, insist that I couldn't ride a bike. So, yeah, I can ride a bike.
It's honestly amazing how better she is at most of these things than I could ever hope to be. But besides from that, I feel like it really isn't just the gimmick. I think she's actually a really good speaker, and my attention is never waned in her content. Then we have Turkey Tom, a small commentary channel that I've watched from time to time. He's based in animation, and he basically does commentary about whatever he feels like, and he makes me chuckle from time to time. I feel like he has a lot of potential.
To others, Christmas can mean pulling someone under the mistletoe so that you have an excuse to sexually assault them. Their movements are so stilted and slow, so awkward to look at. It's so hard to believe that this was created by humans, and one would probably be safe in assuming that a team of aliens trying to present their species how humans act had actually animated this.
Then we have Universe Box. A couple years ago, this guy uploaded a fake Kickstarter parody, and it's the funniest goddamn thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Pledge $5 or more and you get a naked picture of me with my fully visible. For $10 or more, I won't send you a naked picture of me with my fully visible.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I've not seen any of his other videos. I just like this one video so much that I just wanted to make sure you guys saw it. Next, we're gonna move on to Trash Tunes. What is there to say about Trash Tunes? I don't know where to start. I would say they're a low production, high quality shitpost channel designed to not make any sense, but be funny in a weird kind of way.
Everybody to my office now! I don't have any friends. Not a single friend. Ugh! Yo, we got bigger problems. It's Gremblo.
For the 5th time, my name's not Gremblo. It's Greg. Greg, G-R-E-G. Come on.
Gremblo.
All right, that's it. I'm gonna burn this place to the ground.
And I liked him so much I've actually done a collab with them, so you can check that out in the description. And finally, PewDiePie. Not really. The actual final channel that I wanted to shout out is called College Chemistry. They basically just do various scientific concoctions that I find very satisfying to look at. There's this video where they make lead look like gold leaf, and suddenly I get why people died from this. This guy's just starting out, but I like what he's doing so far, and I'm gonna keep my eye on him. And you'll find all those channels in the description alongside Ceciltainment, because I will never stop telling you to subscribe to him because he's great. But seriously, I would love if you checked out and subscribed to all of those guys. You gotta share the love, know what I mean? And with that, I've been Quinton Reviews, and that's all you need.